Hello YouTubers and our clients at InStar Alliance here in the Washington DC area. Number is 703-646-3941. As I said many times, these videos are for them, our clients, due to the situation where we're just unable to answer every question about everything, and we want our clients to be good investors. Then we've created this video series for them. I'm one of several people. InStar Alliance is a remote location for my broker that is over in Chicago, Illinois area. And basically, we're about, I want to say 27 strong, something like that. He has other states as well that works with the different policies that we work with, how to invest. I take it one step further, and we here at InStar Alliance feel that their training is a necessary ingredient for their success. My broker doesn't offer this style training. We do have webinars, and we teach people how to get out of debt, and that we do, and we do very well. And we go from Alaska to Hawaii to Iowa. We base out of with a marketing group in Florida, of course obviously the Illinois area, and New York, all the major cities, all the major states. We have other advisors like myself there. But anyway, what we want to talk about today simply is very simple. First of all, I've talked many times about the concepts of working as a job as my primary source of income. And I've told you many times that that is not a good option. And most people just want to do it because of the security of it. I studied an article with Robert Kiyosaki, I'm sure you've heard of him. And basically he says that people believe that there is an unspoken alliance between your employer and the employee, that they will provide you health care, they will provide you a 401k plan, which of course is a horrible way of trying to save for investments and retirements. You studied some of our past videos, and you know that that system is just rigged to a point that, you know, most people end up saving a whole lot less than what they ever thought they would. And whatever happens with the taxes that comes out of it, it's pretty sad. But a lot of people believe that's a security blanket, so they go with the security blanket. And then their job. Well, the cool thing about COVID-19 is it changed all that. That's the good thing about the virus here, is it forced people against their will, as if they really had a will to begin with, that they were in control. Or in their feeble minds that they believed that they were in control, which of course they never were. But they believed that. That they have to think out of the box. So what we're going to talk today is very simple. It's going to be brief. I'm going to do a recap next week on it. Why multiple streams of alternate income is a better plan towards retirement. Why do I say that? Because it's true. Robert Kiyosaki has a little grid. It says in employee, and then self-employed, and then business owner, and then investor. And he says you want to reach the investor stage. It's what I've reached, and other advisors that I know, certainly my broker, have reached, and close personal friends of mine that I interact with reach. In order for me to have reached those goals, I had to think out of the box. I had to realize that a job couldn't be my only source of income. So what are other types of income? Well, I would highly recommend that you watch How I Built 6 Income Streams That Make $85,000 per Month by Vanessa Lau. It's L-A-U. Why her? One of her main things is to build up her base on YouTube to a point that she could start to sell digital downloads. And her digital download is working with mentors and coaches and trying to educate them to a point so that their businesses take off. And I don't want to dwell on it too much, but she talks about, that as being 80% of her income. And she said it was brutal. And I won't lie to you, anything good in life is always going to be hard. It's never going to be easy, I'm sorry. The only thing easy is taxes when you allow it to happen. And why do I say when you allow it to happen? You put yourself in a tax situation where you do things of investments and stuff that aren't tax related. It's going to be inevitable, and death is going to be inevitable. Those are the only two things that are easy because they're inevitable. They're going to happen to you. And you don't have to struggle to achieve it. It will come. Trust me on this. Haven't met any immortals yet. I would like to. If there's some out there seeing this video, it'd be awesome. Just to see how they like living for centuries at a time. I have heard of once of a area. I want to say it's in Georgia, and not Atlanta, Georgia, but this country Georgia over in Eastern Europe. And they have some mountain people. And I heard a story once of this shopkeeper. His father owned a shop, and he knew this man when he was a very, very young man, probably in his teens, just reaching adulthood. And he helped, work part-time at his father's shop. And this guy lived up in the mountains, and I know he used Himalayan sea salt, and that was prevalent up there, and he was in a clean environment. And he would come down to trade and to buy things. And he lived alone on this mountain. Sounds kind of sad as a hermit. But he knew this guy until his father retired, died, and he became an old man. And he figured the guy probably was in the age of 180 years old. Is it possible to live that long if the environment's clean and all that stuff? Yeah, it is. But when I talk about immortals, I'm talking about people who don't die. So knowing that we will, okay, let's try to use our little time on earth we have here, which is averages, according to the Bible, like 86 and a half years is the average now in the U.S. So let's try to use it in a good manner. Why waste your time until your life to your death working from paycheck to paycheck when you can build alternate sources of income? It makes no logical sense to do anything else. I know it's out of the box, and that security blanket isn't there, and there's risk involved in your mind. But the bottom line is working a job and praying that one source of income is going to pay for everything is a huge risk. But people don't see it that way. They've been programmed to fail. Okay? They have been programmed to only be one thing in their lives. Okay? Guess what that is? This. The American Society 2020 and beyond. Sheep. That's all they've ever been programmed to be. They just follow the herd. You got to step out of the herd. Investors, we are people that step out of the herd. I tie up my money in investments that I know are going to create an income and not affected by the markets, which are private things, which we teach people at InStar Alliance. Let's go over some different types of incomes. I know you're waiting on them. Earned income, we discussed that. I don't want to discuss that anymore. Profit income, eBay. What that means is you do retail arbitrage. You see an item at a flea market that cost you $2, and you've seen that market on eBay selling for $40. That's a pretty good market profit. You put it on the eBay for say $38 or $36 to go under the trend, so then that way it makes money. And at the same time, you're not being choked by the competition. That's eBay. Interest income from banks. Well, outside of our investments, at 0.75% interest, you ain't going to make a lot of money that way, okay? It's usually what it is, 0.75 or 1%, or 75% or 1% is the average norm. And in this pandemic, it's probably barely over 1%. We have investments that go up to 6% per year, annually, guaranteed and right, compounded. That's the type of investments you want to do. Anyway, moving on, residual income, YouTube, and digital downloads. We just discussed that earlier with Vanessa Lau. Find something that you're good to write about. First, you're going to need to build up your social network. I know it's a pain, but again, anything in life is. And once you build up your network, great. Then at that point, you can use that network and then direct that network over towards your digital download. That this particular one item that you sell at, that she makes $85,000 a month at. That's good money. That's almost $1 million a year. Pretty close. That's good money. And that's just one of her items. Another people would go ahead and then do stock derivatives off of different banks. So interest income from banks is usually what people think of, like, savings account at Capital One or whatever, or Bank of America. Interest income from banks can also be where you buy into the stocks and get trickle-down effect shareholder money that you make off of that. So what does that mean? That basically means that you buy into these stocks at these different banks, and then after you make income from it, then you go ahead and you reinvest it. So that's another option. You can do affiliate marketing, where you go ahead and then, again, that helps if you had a YouTube following, and then say, hey, I really, really, really like this Diamond Pro toothbrush. It's a cool electric toothbrush. I use it every day. I recommend it. Here's a link over to Amazon. Go buy one. By using this link, it'll take 20% off of it. Awesome, get it. That's what affiliate marketing is. Marketing brands. I like the Kenmore Sears brand over, let's say, GE's brand, because they've been in the business for so long. I don't know. Sears is kind of a shaky example for it, but I think you get the point. It's a marketing brand, sticking with particular brands. People do this because there's income to be made. When you have a YouTube channel like this, though we didn't set this channel up necessarily for getting a bunch of subscriptions, however we want them, and we definitely don't have like or dislike buttons on it because of the simple fact this is a training videos. Okay, we don't care about that because we're trying to train you. Okay, we're not trying to drive a huge growth to this. Most of the things that you see on here we've already trained and talked about in appointments with our clients anyway, but it's here for them to rehash and to learn new things as well that we didn't cover, or just to go into depth of certain things, and to keep them abreast, because if they want to be good investors, then they need this information. Anyway, beyond that, a YouTube channel can generate you income. After you get 1,000 subscriptions and 4,000, I want to say, or was it 40,000? I'm sorry, it's 4,000 hours. Yeah, 4,000 hours. Then they start to add ads to it, and then from there you can make a revenue on ads. Investing ads are pretty well off paying ads, but there are other ones as well. You have to kind of shy away from the different types of things that are out in the market, things they consider taboo. Some of the stuff I talked about earlier with news and politics, certain types of weird things, illegal things, stuff like that, things you should never put on a YouTube channel. Think of this as a PG rated channel, not a PG-13. If you do that, then you'll be a lot better off with working with YouTube. I talked about dividend stocks, dividend incomes. There's certain companies that are going to emerge from this virus. You need to be aware of them. I know that Elon's done a lot with his company, and he's putting satellites up so he can cover the remote areas of the world with internet access, 5K access. Apple's always on the move for something new. I even mentioned investing in Apple, and for those of you who did on my earlier videos, they made some money with it. And there's a lot of different stocks out there and a lot of different companies out there. You need to dig in deep, and I'll kind of go over some of that as well, and we will here with InStar Alliance, to try to give you an idea of where to invest. But the things with the stock market and also with Forex is, if you have the time to do it, great. If you don't have the time to do it, strangely enough, I have to tell you not to do it, because you can't go long term. And that's why the 401k fails as badly as it does. Capital gains from investments, when you're doing house flipping and that sort of thing. I actually have a real estate background, and I'm going to talk about that in the next video. But the thing with houses, you got to have a really strong stomach to be a renter. And I've seen people renting, and it's difficult. They rip your house to pieces over a period of time. A lot of work has to be done on it. You can put a deposit down, but it's brutal because your house goes through a lot of wear and tear. That property that you purchased. House flipping's great only if you have the network in place. If you don't have the network in place, you're in big trouble because it's going to cost you a fortune to rebuild it and fix it up nice enough to sell it and make a profit. Royalty income. Well, we don't have to worry about that. That's for music and that sort of thing. Unless you're an artist and you play music, you don't have to worry about that too much. 101 consulting fees. Vanessa Lau touched on that. Yes. You get to be good on certain things, and I haven't gotten into that realm yet myself personally. However, I am consulting. You can charge a lot for that. I do it more as part of the work that I do with my broker, but like I said, there's a lot of money to be made in that. And then, well, like I talked about earlier, federal payouts, they're horrible. So just don't get into something that's volatile with the market. Get into stuff that's solid. Things that we offer are solid. Maybe it might be in your state. You got the right to contact us back through remarks, and we'll post it if we feel there's a need to. Again, this is training video stuff for clients here in the DC area, but this information can be applied across the country because we do work across the country. Anyway, I'll be recapping all this and moving forward next week. I hope you have a safe week. I hope that people begin to listen to us when we talk about contact tracing because it's really, really important. Without it, the country is just going to keep burning. I think I read a thing that says up to 200,000 deaths. It could be 1 million deaths before we really cool down. Hopefully it doesn't get that high. Some of the ones like Fauci was talking about maybe 400,000 to 600,000. That's a lot of people to die. Granted, people do die from viruses and stuff every year and have done so for decades, if not longer. But this one could have been avoided, and this one still can be reduced if we're willing to do some sort of contact tracing with the phones. Now, I know that Google and Apple's been working on that. When you see that information coming out and being available as a download, do it. Because we need to be linked up. China has us beat and has us on our knees because of that. And we're suffering because of it. And we're going to keep suffering. And it makes no sense that we should suffer when so many other countries, even African countries, even undeveloped African countries are doing contact tracing. That we haven't done that yet. So it's something serious to think about. You can see that the election's moving forward. Later in the month we'll have our first debates. I'm looking forward to talking about that briefly. So have a safe week, and we'll see what happens come next week. Bye.